Hey guys, I got with the picks. It is Thursday, early, early, early morning. You know, I was sitting in the living room watching some Laker game. I tell you what, the way the Lakers played tonight, that team is just shit, absolute shit. I mean, the Clippers just dominated that team from beginning to end. I didn't put nothing out. Definitely had some winners in baseball today. Today was a pretty good day. I've had a lot of stuff going on lately, and I apologize. I haven't been able to jump on here that much. I feel like I'm back. I'm back to where I need to be to start producing numbers for not only me but you guys as well. You know, and I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Let me get vulnerable. Let me let my guard down just a little bit. Let me let y'all into a dimension of my life that I had no idea was coming, or how it came, or what form it came in. You know, it's Thursday. I don't know. It's about 2 in the morning right now, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, last last Monday, actually it was last Sunday. Last Sunday, I I was puking up blood really bad. It was coming out in big clots. It was all over the bathroom. I did it at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I tried to clean up as much as I could. I didn't clean up a damn thing. Um, and I knew I needed blood just because I mean, what, in 2017, I had six blood transfusions. I had one every other month in 2017. It hasn't been that frequent years going on, but last year I had 4 transfusions last year. Um, this was a really I allowed myself to get to a really bad spot. See, I like to think that I know my body better than anybody else, and I should. And I still feel like I do. I just don't always make I just don't always make the right decisions. Um, so she woke up Sunday, and I was still like, I honestly didn't even realize what I actually did. Um, and she was like, "We need to get to the hospital." I'm like, "No," I said, "I got a fantasy baseball draft today, and I have to draft." Then I shook the room. Um, you know, I'm not in my right state of mind. I'm telling her I ain't got time to go to the hospital yet. I got a fantasy baseball that we got to draft. I said, if I puke again today, and if I'm puking blood, we'll go to the hospital. And somehow I was able to push myself away from not going to the hospital that Sunday. And last Monday, we had to call the ambulance to come get my big ass. And I really didn't want to go in the ambulance, to be honest with you. Took me down to Steubenville Trinity, which I only go to Trinity if I need blood. I wouldn't let Trinity do anything else to me as an individual. I have way too many really good institutions around here. I'm 35 minutes away from Pittsburgh. I'm 2 hours and 40 minutes away from Columbus. Um, and that's typically the care that I put my life in is Pittsburgh and Columbus. And they called the ambulance, and I'm already out of it. Like my hemoglobin, like I've done a lot of damage to my body in the past. You know, it's coming up on 7 years without a chemical or a mind-altering anything in my body. No alcohol, none of its cousins, nothing. Nothing, no solid alcohol, nothing. And I'm truly blessed for that. Absolutely blessed for that. It took me from year 2000 to from 2000 to 2016 for things to continuously happen in my life before I was able to say, all right, maybe you guys might know a different solution than I do. And that's, to be honest with you, I threw my hands in the air. I asked another guy in the rooms, I said, I need help. I grabbed his coattail. Next thing you know, day led after day, after day, after day, after month, after year, and you know that's where we are now. But all those years that I was running and gunning and just beating the concrete out there, I did so much damage to my body. You know, I'm cured of hepatitis C. I'm cured. You know, these days and age, they don't have to go in and take a piece of your liver out anymore. They got non-invasive treatments. And I had a non-invasive treatment by a doctor in Steubenville, and they rate your liver damage from 1 to 4, 4 being the worst, 1 being the best. And obviously, you know, I ran things through my arms, legs, anything that I can find for 20 years of my life. And I wasn't your weekend warrior. I wasn't your every other type of day using guy. I was a guy that hated himself, regretted everything that he did, told himself at night that this is the last one, I'm not going to do it again. And as soon as my eyes broke in the morning, you know exactly what happened in my head. It was what I got to do to get the first one. And the crazy part about it is, you know what? People like myself are so damn selfish. We think we're the only people that we're only hurting ourselves. You know, they didn't go to prison. I had to go to prison multiple times. They didn't have to sit in the hospital. I sat in the hospital. Listen, this disease, when it comes to the family, it's almost like the whole family gets in a car wreck. Everybody's bleeding out. Everybody's bleeding out. I'm the alcoholic junkie. They take me in the back. They sew me up. I'm okay. While my family is sitting right there bleeding out. That's what the disease of addiction and alcoholism is like. Until you get a grasp on it, you understand, and you're armed with all the facts about how truly selfish we really are when it comes to loved ones. Hell, we make the loved ones even sicker than we were. And they don't get to rely on drugs and alcohol, which is fucking crazy. And thank God I was able to have a little bit of time left in my life to share with some loved people that I destroyed for so many years. I definitely didn't have enough time, I can tell you that much. But so they did a fibro scan on me, and my liver damage came back as absolute worst. It couldn't get any worse, but they told me if I put anything in my body, it wouldn't get any worse. And it didn't. Fast forward real quick, choking up blood. I'm in the ambulance. We get to Steubenville, and they take me straight into the emergency room, and it's just me and my girl. And from that point, I remember we had a 26-round draft, and the only thing that I remember was the first 4 rounds, and somehow we completed that whole draft. And I have no idea I had no idea even who I took in the draft until I woke up in the hospital a week later. Had no idea who I took in the draft, but drafted all the rounds. And somehow, I got 3 first-round picks with my first 3 picks. And it was a 15-man, 26-round. A draft was a good thing. I don't know how, but it was. So, you know, I go into Trinity, and they hook me up to blood right away. It don't take them long at all. I mean, they know me. So this is Monday, and Ambulance picks me up about 5:30, 6 o'clock. We get up there. I think they start putting blood in me, probably, I think within the first hour. Now, the whole time I'm in there, the only thing I'm worried about is my vape. As long as I got my vape, I'll be okay. Now, I start, and the only one that recognizes this is my girl. You know, I'm quick, I'm witty, my tongue's fast, I talk quick, my mind works very, very fast. So I'm fast, but she can tell when I'm off. Just a half a beat, she can tell when I'm off, and she can tell it better than I can somehow. They hook me up to blood. Julie calls my sister and was like, "Look, I think this might be worse than I really than." So they took my blood, and my hemoglobin was at 3.1. Now, if you're watching this and you know anything about hemoglobin, a grown man, you're somewhere, let's just say you're 50 years or younger, grown man, you're somewhere between 14 and 17. And they consider me normal at 7. So I can get there and I'm at like 3.1. They hook me up to blood. My sister comes up there later, and this is where everything goes. It all goes left real quick, and I have no idea what's going on. I'm completely out of it. And Trinity don't know why. Only reason for them to know is because of the blood loss. So as long as they inject enough blood in me, and it takes this guy, what they typically give one person for each bag of blood is typically worth 1 point. Each bag of blood for me is actually a half a point. So it takes them 2 bags to equal 1 point for me. And on the third day of me getting blood, it still retracts a little bit. So I mean, my stuff's all messed up. I'm not saying, listen, let me get this first out there and foremost. I'm not saying that what I did was any worse than anybody else out there. Don't get me wrong, because I'm not. I'm not saying that my liver damage was worse than everybody's out there, because I'm not. I'm just talking about my specific experience. In this past, you couldn't make a movie. You couldn't nominate this with the right people in it. You couldn't have made an ending for someone to believe what happened in this short time frame. So Tuesday comes around, and my sister comes up that night. And I don't even know it's Tuesday now. I'm going in and out of consciousness, in and out of consciousness. Now my dad's there. This is what Trinity tells my family. And I love Trinity for this. They said, if you want Jimmy to live, you're going to want to take him to Columbus. Take him to Ohio State. Ohio State was on the horn like this. Next thing I know, Ohio State's down, picking me up. I'm fighting the nurses at Steubenville, and I like to consider myself as probably one of the nicest guys you ever meet. Genuine, loyal, trustworthy, all those things. I wasn't all those things 7 years ago, don't get me wrong. I was taught, and I seen other people's actions, and I was able to instill that in me. I like to think that I'm a good guy. I'm fighting with the nurses up here. See, Julie's telling me that there's 4 or 5 nurses in there, and I'm knocking them away from me. I'm knocking them away from me. They get me in there, and all I remember telling them I told my girl before, I said, listen, make sure that they don't put anything in my body that I don't want. And you know exactly what I don't want in my body. And you make sure that, and none of that stuff happened. Thank God. Praise God. I don't remember the trip to Columbus. I don't know anything. And this is a little bit later Tuesday. So we get to Columbus right away. My organs fail. Shut down. if you ask me what I deserve in life, I tell you that I don't deserve anything. Everything that I've gotten in this past short amount of time was definitely undeserving. I can tell you that much. Listen, my actions speak gratitude. I don't speak gratitude. My thankfulness is shown in my actions, in my walk. I don't so much talk about those things. I like to live about those things. I've definitely been given a redo on life. I can't even tell you how many different times, but this past time was it took the cake. I had septic MRSA back in 2010. My whole body shut down. All my organs shut down then. They were able to get a crash cart to me fast enough to get me back up where I needed to be. Then I got a couple plays for us too here. So we get to Columbus, and I'm just going to tell you what I was told now. So we get to Columbus, and they tell my girl and my dad and my sister that my ammonia level is reaching 300. Now, unless you're in the medical field or you're a guy like me that has health problems, health issues because of self-induced pain and misery that I did to myself, you probably don't even know what ammonia levels are and why they're there. And it's kind of like you buy a car with tires on them, and you take it for granted until something happens, but you know exactly what to do. See, you have this inside you, and your typical person is never even going to be told about ammonia levels. So when your ammonia level increases past 60, you start to your body is working completely against you now. One of the first things that happens is brain damage. You get lack of oxygen, and I was to a point. And it got there so fast that they had no idea what the outcome was going to be. They put me on a ventilator 100% as soon as I got there. I can tell you, whenever I eventually was able to take breath on my own, I had 6 different IVs in my arms. I had 6 different sites. They put a port in my neck. They put a catheter in me. They had a tube down my throat. And once again, my family is standing out there watching me die. And it hurts me to even say that they have to go through that. I'm just going to take us to the end of that night, and then I'm gonna finish it up probably next time, because I do got a couple picks for us. They put me on a ventilator 100%. I was not breathing. They couldn't get my blood stable at all. Blood would not stay in me. My ammonia level was actually making it Houdini, disappear. It was also coming out of different ends at me. They really thought if there was any chance of me coming out of it, I was definitely not going to be the same person that I was. They were talking to my family quickly about features, about talking, about walking, different things that obviously we take for granted on a daily basis that I know that could be taken away from me very quick. So they put me on a ventilator 100%. I think it was like Tuesday night. All day Wednesday. Thursday is whenever I broke my eyes. Thursday was the first time that I was able to take a breath on my own. But they had me strapped down. I couldn't move an inch either way, and it was just driving me crazy, absolutely crazy. So this was from Monday until Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. And this story gets really, really good. I got a couple picks for us. We're going to pick up on it next time. I want to call this one play a fun play. This guy's coming to do business. I'm going to tell you that much right now. We're going to Augusta. I want to talk about a guy that I think he just lives for the Masters. You're probably thinking Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Royal McIlroy, probably one of these guys, right? Absolutely not. Not. This guy's made as much money in the Masters over the past 5 years as probably anybody. Anybody. I could probably give you about 8 to 10 minutes to go research. You might be able to find it. So in 2018, he finished tied for 5th. In 2019, I don't know if he wanted to be there because he finished 51st. By far, his worst finish ever at Augusta. In 2020, he finished tied for 2nd. In 2021, he finished tied for 10th. And in 2022, he finished tied for 3rd. What we're doing with this guy, we're taking him to finish in the top 5. Top 5. This guy lives to play Augusta. We're talking about Cameron Smith. Cameron Smith sitting at plus 475. There is not a better horse in this field that has the value that he has. It's not even close. It's not even close. We're talking about a plus 475. Is a top 5 finish difficult? Absolutely it is. You just heard the results that this guy has put up year after year after year. And he's going to do it again this year. Plus 475. 100 is going to get you back 575. 50 is going to get you back 29. You know the deal. Make sure you put something on this because I don't want to be the only one saying I told you so. I need you guys telling other people, he told me so I'm telling you so. We're taking Cameron Smith at plus 475. And I got the early baseball game for us. We got Boston going to Detroit. Boston sitting at minus 140. Total was sitting at 8. We got Chris Sale taking on Spencer Turnbull. Both of these pitchers were absolute ass. They both started the first game for their team. I had high expectations for Chris Sale. No, I do not have him on my team, but I absolutely love him as a pitcher. It may just be time for him to hang it up. I'm not sure. It won't be on this game, though, I can tell you that much. Both these pitchers got taken to the woodshed. Turnbull did get taken a little bit further down the street than Sale did, but they both got the shit beat out of them. Turnbull went for 2.1 innings. He gave up 8 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned runs, 3 base on balls, and 3 Ks. He finished that game with a 27 ERA, and his fantasy points were minus 16. It's hard to get worse than that. It really is. Sale, he went for only 3 innings pitched. Turnbull did take the loss. Sale went for 3 innings pitched. He gave up 7 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned runs. Gave up 2 base on balls. He did strike out 6, which did salvage a little bit, not much at all. He did not take the loss in that game. Boston was still able to come out of that game. And that was no help from Sale at all. This Detroit offense, they're averaging 3.1 runs a game. Okay, we're only into the game 5 games. We're into the year 5 games. That's not a good way to start. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I'm pretty much sure that every analyst, sport broadcaster, anybody out there that follows sports and baseball this year would have told you that Detroit will definitely be one, if not the worst team in baseball. And they will be. Detroit averaged 3.1 runs a game. They're hitting a home run every 43 and a half plate appearances. That is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. And And as a team, their team average is 202. 202. They're giving up 6 runs a game. Boston's putting up 6.9 runs a game. They're second in Major League Baseball in runs scored. Their team average is 276, which is top of the line. Excellent. They're averaging 10 hits a game. They're averaging a home run every 21 plate appearances. Like I said, they're second in Major League Baseball in runs scored. And check this out. The last 2 games they played the Pirates, they put up a total of 2 runs. 2 runs. And they're still second in baseball in runs scored and average runs scored. And they got 1 run each game the past 2 games. Yeah. So listen, Boston is due for an absolute explosion. When I tell you when I'm going to put on this game, it don't even matter what I tell you when I'm going to put on this game. Just know that it won't just be the kitchen sink. It'll probably be the shed and probably half the downstairs also. I'm absolutely hammering this play early on. I'm absolutely hammering it early on. And I'm going to come back with another one at night. Hammering it. I need you guys to hammer it the same way. Listen, Cameron Smith plus 475, top 5 finish. We're taking Chris Sale and your Boston Red Sox offense over Detroit, and we're getting them at $1.40. That's a discount price because we're on the road. I'll take them on the road every day of the week if we're playing Detroit. This is how we're starting the baseball season, right here, right now. Cameron Smith plus 475. Boston Red Sox minus 140. Second half of the story is going to be on the next post. Guys, you already know what I'm going to do until I get back to you. I'm going to get back to getting this cash.